The emergency meeting room buzzed with worried voices. Representatives from across the galaxy had gathered in just 2 days. Ambassador Shin Junho of the Keth Mori sat quietly in his chair, his blue skin showing the pale color that meant he was upset. His people had not fought a war in 3,000 years. "This is wrong," Junho said to the room. "No species should be judged before they even leave their homeworld. These humans have done nothing to us." Chief Military Advisor Park Sun-woo stood up from his seat. His red scales caught the light as he moved. The Drakmari people were warriors, but even they followed rules when they fought. "Ambassador Junho, you have not read the full report," Sun-woo said. "These humans have created weapons that could destroy all life on their planet. They test these weapons in their own air and water. What kind of species poisons its own home?" Dr. Lee Soman cleared her throat. She was small compared to most of the beings in the room, but her voice carried weight. As the galaxy's best expert on how different species think, her opinion mattered. "I have studied the human mind for weeks now," she said. "They are not like us. Most species think about survival first. Humans think about winning first." She pressed a button and images appeared on the wall screen. The room grew quiet as they watched human soldiers charge toward enemy guns. They saw human pilots crash their flying machines into enemy ships on purpose. "They call this sacrifice," Soman continued. "They will die to protect their families, their ideas, even their flags. No other species does this." "That sounds brave," said Ambassador Junho. "It sounds insane," replied Sun-woo. "Look at this next recording." The screen showed human armies burning entire cities. Men, women, and children ran from the flames. Some humans tried to save them. Other humans had started the fires. "They fight wars not just to win, but to make sure their enemies can never fight back," Sun-woo explained. "They call it total war. They destroy everything their enemies need to live." Overseer Hyejin stood at the front of the room. She had called this meeting after reading Dr. Miho's report. How she wondered if she had made the right choice. "Dr. Soman," Hyejin said, "tell us about their minds. What makes them so violent?" Soman changed the image on the screen. Now it showed humans playing with small animals. Children laughed as furry creatures licked their faces. Adults spent their money to buy food for animals that gave them nothing in return. "This is the strange part," Soman said. "Humans love other living things. They keep animals as friends. They cry when these animals die. They build hospitals for wild creatures that are hurt. Then why do they fight so much?" asked Junho. "Because they love their own families even more. A human will kill 1,000 strangers to save one of their children. They see the universe as full of threats to the things they love." Commander Im Taewon had been quiet during the meeting. He ran the military spy network that watched dangerous species. Now he stood up with a worried look on his face. "There is something else," Taewon said. "Our listening stations have heard human radio signals. Their military leaders are already making plans for war against aliens." The room fell silent. Even the sound of breathing seemed too loud. "They do not know we exist," Taewon continued, "but they are preparing to fight us anyway. They have written plans for battles in space. They have designed weapons to use against species they have never met." He pressed buttons on his control device. New images filled the screen. Human scientists worked on strange machines in underground laboratories. Human soldiers practiced fighting in fake alien environments. They call these plans xenocide protocols, Taewon said. "Complete destruction of alien life forms." Ambassador Junho's skin grew even paler. "Surely they do not mean all aliens. Perhaps they only plan to defend themselves." "Read their documents," Taewon replied. One human general wrote, "The only good alien is a dead alien. We cannot risk letting any hostile species survive to threaten Earth again." "Again?" asked Hyejin.
"They have never met hostile aliens. That is the problem."
"In their minds, all aliens are hostile until proven otherwise, and they do not plan to give us a chance to prove anything." Dr. Soman nodded sadly. "This matches my research. Humans divide everything into 2 groups, things they must protect and things that threaten what they protect. They rarely see a third option." Park Sun-woo walked to the center of the room. His warrior training made him move like a predator even when he was just thinking. "The decision is clear," he said. "Humans are category red. They will bring war to the galaxy if they are allowed to spread among the stars." "But they might change," Junho argued. "My people were once violent too. We learned peace over time." "Your people never had weapons that could destroy planets," Sun-woo replied. "Humans have these weapons now, and they are building better ones every year." Overseer Hijin looked around the room. She saw fear in every face. Some species had been peaceful for so long, they had forgotten how to fight. Others remembered war but thought those days were over. What are our options? She asked. Taewon answered first. We could destroy them now, before they develop space travel. That would make us murderers, Junho said quickly. We could try to contact them, suggested Soman. Perhaps if they knew other intelligent life existed, they would be less afraid. Or they would see us as the ultimate threat, Sunwoo said. They might unite their entire species to fight us. Hyejin thought about the choices. All of them were terrible. Destroy a species that had done nothing wrong? Contact them and risk making things worse? Do nothing and hope they changed on their own? There is one more option, she said slowly. Quarantine. The room buzzed with whispers. Quarantine meant trapping an entire species on their home world. It had only been done once before, to a species that had created weapons that could destroy time itself. We could build automatic defense stations around their solar system, Hyejin explained. If they try to leave using faster-than-light travel, the stations would stop them. You mean kill them, Junho said. Only if they try to leave. If they stay on their world, they live normal lives. What if they never develop space travel? Asked Soman. Then the quarantine does nothing and they never know it existed. And if they do develop space travel? Asked Sunwoo. Hyejin closed her eyes. She did not want to say the words. Then the galaxy protects itself. The vote took place in silence. Each representative pressed a button on their desk. Red for quarantine, blue for contact, green for doing nothing, and black for destruction. The results appeared on the main screen. Quarantine won by a wide margin. Only Ambassador Junho and 2 others had voted for contact. The decision is made, Hyejin announced. Humanity will be quarantined. May the stars forgive us for what we are about to do. As the representatives left the meeting room, Junho approached Hyejin. I hope you are wrong about them, he said. Hyejin watched the human images still playing on the screen. Children laughed while playing with animals. Soldiers marched toward war. I hope so too, she replied. But I do not think we can take that risk. Dr. Kang Miho stared at her computer screen in the quiet office. The blue light made her tired eyes hurt, but she had work to finish. As a scientist for the Galactic Council, she studied new species found across the galaxy. Most days were boring. She looked at data about simple creatures that barely knew how to use tools. Today felt different. The report in front of her came from Solar System 2847b. Captain, Yoon Daeho had sent it from his survey ship 3 weeks ago. The system had a yellow star, much like the ones that supported life on many worlds. The third planet from the star looked promising. It had water, air, and the right temperature for life. Miho read the first page of the report. The planet had intelligent life. The species called themselves humans. They walked on 2 legs, used tools, and had built cities. They had even started to explore space around their world. She turned to the next page and stopped. Her breath caught in her throat. The humans had been fighting wars for their entire recorded history. In just the last 100 years, they had fought in 127 major conflicts. They had created weapons that could kill millions of people at once. They had built bombs using the same power that lit up stars. Miho had never seen anything like it. Most species fought sometimes, but humans seemed to fight all the time. They fought over land, resources, ideas, and things she could not understand. They even fought over the color of their skin or what they believed about invisible gods. She kept reading. The humans had divided their world into nearly 200 different groups. Each group had its own leaders, laws, and armies. Many of these groups hated each other. Some had weapons pointed at each other every day, ready to destroy entire cities in minutes. But the strangest thing was what they did between wars. They created beautiful art, music, and stories. They built schools and hospitals. They cared for sick animals and saved dying species. They even sent food to their enemies when disasters struck. Miho had studied alien species for 30 years. She had never seen anything like this. Most species were either peaceful or warlike. Humans seemed to be both at the same time. Captain Yoon Daeho had included video recordings in his report. Miho watched them on her screen. The humans looked similar to several species in the galaxy. 2 arms, 2 legs, 1 head, but their eyes were different. They showed emotions that Miho recognized but had never seen so strongly in any species. In one video, Human soldiers ran into burning buildings to save children. In another, different humans dropped explosives on cities full of families. The same species that created medicine to cure diseases also created poisons to kill their enemies. Miho saved her work and walked down the hall to find her supervisor. Council Overseer Tak Hijin had an office on the top floor of the building. The elevator ride gave Miho time to think about what she would say. Hyejin was older and had more experience with dangerous species. She had been working for the council when they first met the Drekmari, a warrior race that loved to fight. Even they seemed peaceful compared to these humans. Overseer Tak, Miho said as she knocked on the door. Come in, Miho. What brings you here so late? Miho sat down across from Hyejin's desk. I have a report about a new species. I think you need to see it. Hyejin looked at the files Miho handed her. Her expression changed as she read. Her eyes grew wide, then narrow, then worried. These numbers cannot be right, Hyejin said. No species fights this much and still advances in technology. I checked 3 times. Captain Yoon Daeho is one of our best observers. His team spent 6 months watching them. Hyejin kept reading. She stopped at a page about human weapons. They have enough nuclear bombs to destroy their entire planet 10 times over? Yes, and they keep building more. Why would they do that? If they destroy their world, they all die. Miho had wondered the same thing. I think they are afraid of each other. Each group builds more weapons because other groups have weapons. They cannot stop because stopping means someone else might attack them. Hyejin read more of the report. She found the section about human space technology. They have built ships that can travel to other worlds in their system. Their scientists are working on faster ways to travel between stars. The report says they might achieve faster than light travel within 50 years, Miho said. Hyejin put down the papers. She walked to her window and looked out at the city below. The council headquarters sat in the middle of the galaxy's most peaceful world. Representatives from hundreds of species worked together here without fighting. What do you think we should do? Hyejin asked. Miho had thought about this question for hours. Normal procedure says we should give them a category yellow rating. We watch them but do not interfere. But you think we should do something different? Yes, I think we should give them category red. Hyejin turned around quickly. Category red is for species that threaten the entire galaxy. We have only used it twice in 10,000 years. These humans are different. They create new weapons faster than any species we have studied. They have already learned to split atoms and create artificial life. If they reach the stars while they are still fighting each other, they might bring their wars with them. Hyejin sat back down at her desk. She picked up a small device and pressed a button. This is Overseer Tak. I need an emergency meeting with the full council. We have a category red situation. Miho felt her heart beat faster. Category red meant the species was dangerous enough to threaten all life in the galaxy. It meant the council would take action to protect everyone else. Are you sure about this? Hyejin asked. Miho looked at the report one more time. She thought about the videos of human soldiers saving children and human bombers destroying cities. She thought about their weapons that could kill planets and their medicines that could save lives. Yes, she said. I am sure. Humanity is category red. 50 years had passed since the quarantine began. Dr. Han Minseo floated in the zero gravity of Deep Space Station 7, reading reports that made her stomach feel sick. She had been just a student when the council first voted to trap humanity in their home system. Now she was the galaxy's leading expert on human technology, and what she saw scared her. The humans had not stayed the same during their imprisonment. They had grown stronger, smarter, and more dangerous than anyone had predicted. Captain Bay, come look at this, Minseo called to the station commander. Captain Bay Ji-won pushed off from the wall and floated over to Minseo's workstation. Her military uniform was neat despite the long months in space. She had been watching the quarantine for 10 years and each year brought worse news. What are they doing now? Ji-won asked. Minseo pointed to the display screen. It showed the human home system from far away, but their instruments could see almost everything happening there. They are building something around their star, Minseo said. Look at these structures. Thousands of objects floated in space around the human sun. Each one was the size of a small moon, covered in dark panels that absorbed the star's light and turned it into power. How much energy are they collecting? Ji-won asked. Enough to power our entire civilization 10 times over, Minseo replied. They are building what our scientists call a Dyson swarm. It will give them more power than most species use in 1,000 years. G1 stared at the screen. Most species took millions of years to build such things. Humans had done it in just 50 years of being trapped in their home system. What are they using all that power for? Minseo changed the display. Now it showed the space around the third planet, Earth. Massive construction projects filled the area between Earth and its moon. Ships larger than cities moved between them, carrying materials and workers. They are building a fleet, Minseo said. Not just ships to explore space. Ships designed for war. The human warships looked different from anything in the galaxy. They were covered in thick armor and bristling with weapons. Some were so large they could carry entire armies. Others were small and fast, built to attack and disappear before enemies could fight back. How many ships? Ji-Wan asked, though she was afraid of the answer. Our computers have counted over 10,000 combat vessels, and they are building more every day. Ji-Wan felt cold despite the warm air in the station. 10,000 warships was more than most galactic empires had built in their entire history. The humans had done it while trapped in one star system. There is something else, Minseo said. She pressed more buttons and the screen changed again. This time it showed human laboratories on their homeworld and on space stations. Scientists in white coats worked with machines that Minseo barely understood. They have created artificial minds, she said. Thinking machines that are smarter than most organic beings in the galaxy. That is impossible. It takes most species millions of years to create true artificial intelligence. Humans did it in 20 years, and their artificial minds are not just smart. They are creative. They invent new technologies faster than human scientists can understand them. Ji-Wan watched the screen show human robots working alongside human people. The machines moved like living creatures but never got tired, never made mistakes, and never stopped working. What else? Ji-Wan asked. She could tell Minseo had more bad news. They have learned to change their own bodies. Some humans now have mechanical parts that make them stronger and smarter. Others have changed their biology to survive in space or on worlds with poison air. They are turning themselves into living weapons? Not just weapons. They are becoming something new. Something that can survive anywhere and fight anyone. Suddenly, alarms began ringing throughout the station. Red lights flashed on every wall. Ji-Wan rushed to the main control room with Minseo close behind her. Lieutenant Park Borum was staring at her instruments with wide eyes. Captain, we have a problem, Borum said. Something just appeared outside the quarantine zone. Appeared? You mean came through space? No, Captain. It just appeared. 1 second there was empty space, the next second there was a ship. Ji-Wan looked at the main display. A small human vessel floated in space just beyond the invisible line that marked the quarantine border. It looked different from the warships they had been watching. This one seemed designed for exploration, not fighting. How did it get there? Ji-Wan asked. I do not know, Borum replied. Our sensors show it did not use any kind of faster-than-light travel we recognize. It did not come from any direction. It just appeared. Minseo studied the readings on her own screen. The quarantine defense systems never activated. They are designed to destroy any ship that crosses the border using faster-than-light technology. But this ship is clearly outside the quarantine zone, Ji-Wan said, which means either our defenses failed, or the humans found a way to travel faster than light without triggering them. Before anyone could respond, Borum held up her hand for silence. Captain, we are receiving a transmission from the human vessel. Put it on the speakers. A human voice filled the control room. It spoke in the common galactic language that most species used for communication. This is Captain Oh Hyunwoo of the Earth Coalition vessel Magellan. We know you are listening. We have known about your ships watching us for 30 years. Ji-Wan felt her blood turn cold. The humans knew they were being watched. How long had they known? The human voice continued. We are not here to fight. We are not here to threaten anyone. We are here because we want to talk. Minseo grabbed Ji-Wan's arm. Captain, look at the long-range sensors. More dots of light appeared on the display. First 1, then 10, then 100. Human ships were appearing all around the quarantine zone. Each one used a different method to travel faster than light, as if humans wanted to show off how many ways they had learned to move between stars. We know you call us Category Red, Captain Hyunwoo's voice said. We know you think we are dangerous. Maybe you are right, but we did not choose to be your enemies. You made that choice for us. Ji-Wan realized the terrible truth. The quarantine had not contained humanity. It had given them 50 years to prepare for this moment. 50 years to build weapons, develop technology, and plan for the day they would meet their captors. We could have broken out of your cage any time in the last 20 years, the human continued. We chose to wait. We chose to learn. We chose to give you a chance to explain why you imprisoned us without trial. Lieutenant Borum looked at her captain with fear in her eyes. What do we do? Jiwon stared at the display showing hundreds of human ships surrounding their space station. Each one could probably destroy their small outpost in seconds. We call for help, she said, and we pray the humans really do just want to talk. The image floating above the meeting table showed something that made Council Speaker Cho Min-jae's blood turn to ice. Dark shapes moved between the stars in the empty space beyond the galaxy's edge. They were massive, each one larger than most planets, and there were thousands of them. What are those? Min-jae whispered. Dr. Na Seojun pressed another button on his device. The image changed to show one of the dark shapes up close. It looked like a machine, but it was covered in organic growths that pulsed like a beating heart. We call them devourers, Na said. We found evidence of them while studying the dead worlds at the galaxy's edge. They are not alive, but they are not machines either. They are something in between. Admiral Ko Ji-han's voice came through the communication system from his flagship in orbit. Dr. Na, show them what the devourers do to worlds with life. Na pressed more buttons. The display showed a green world full of cities and forests. Then the dark shapes arrived. Within days, the world turned gray and lifeless. The cities were gone. The forests were gone. Even the oceans were gone. They consume everything, Na explained. Rock, metal, water, air, and all living creatures. They turn matter into energy and use that energy to build more of themselves. Ambassador Kim Hyabin stood up from her chair. Our deep space telescopes found traces of them throughout the galaxy's history. They come every 50,000 years. They eat everything they find, then they leave to digest what they have consumed. Leave to where? Asked Min-jae. To the space between galaxies. They sleep there until they are hungry again. General Song Yoo-jin activated his own display. According to our calculations, they will arrive at the galaxy's outer edge in 6 months. They will reach the core worlds in 3 years. The meeting room erupted in panicked voices. Representatives from different species shouted questions and demands in their own languages. Min-jae held up her hand for silence.
How do you know all this?
Why did our scientists not detect them? Because you were not looking, Hyabin said simply. Your species have been peaceful for so long you forgot that the universe is dangerous. You study new worlds to find resources. You explore space to build colonies. You have not looked for threats in thousands of years, but we studied the dead worlds at the galaxy's edge, protested Dr. Lee Soman. You studied them to understand. What happened to the civilizations that lived there? Na replied. We studied them to understand what killed those civilizations. We found the answer because we were looking for predators. You found nothing because you were looking for history. Chief Military Advisor Park Sun-woo leaned forward. Even if these devourers exist, what can we do about them? If they are as powerful as you say, fighting them would be suicide. General Song smiled. This time it was not a sad smile or an angry smile. It was the smile of a predator who had found worthy prey. You are right. Fighting them would be suicide for most species. But we are not most species. He activated a new display showing the massive fleet of human warships that had been gathering at the galaxy's edge. While you kept us trapped in our home system, we built ships designed to fight things worse than ourselves. We created weapons that can crack planets. We developed armor that can survive inside stars. We trained soldiers who think death is just another enemy to defeat. Captain Lim Tae-young's voice came through the communication system from his exploration ship. The Exodus fleet is ready to depart for the Galactic Rim. 10 million humans and 5,000 ships. We go to make first contact with the Devourers. First contact? Min-jae asked in horror. You are going to talk to them? We are going to try, Hyabin said. But if they cannot be reasoned with, we will do what humans do best. Which is what? We will fight them until one of us stops moving. Ambassador Shin Junho, who had opposed the quarantine from the beginning, spoke with sadness in his voice. You are planning to sacrifice your entire species to save the galaxy? No, Hyabin replied. We are planning to save our species by saving the galaxy. The Devourers will not stop with your worlds. They will come for Earth eventually. Better to fight them far from home than in our own backyard. Dr. Na brought up another display showing detailed battle plans. We have studied their patterns from the dead worlds. They attack the most populated systems first because those provide the most energy. If we can delay them at the galaxy's edge, the core worlds will have time to evacuate. Evacuate to where? Asked Minjay. To other galaxies. Your people are good at building ships for exploration and colonization. Ours are good at building ships for war. Together, we might save some of both. General Song stood up and walked around the table. But we need your help. The Devourers are not just strong. They are smart. They learn from every battle. The only way to beat them is to hit them with everything we have at once before they can adapt. You want us to fight alongside you? Sunwoo asked. We want you to do what you do best while we do what we do best, Song replied. You save civilians. We kill monsters. Minjay felt the weight of the decision pressing down on her. 50 years ago, the Council had voted to imprison humanity because they were too dangerous. Now humanity was asking to be the galaxy's protector. How do we know you will not turn on us after the Devourers are defeated? She asked. Heben laughed. Because there will not be an after. The Devourers have been doing this for millions of years. They have consumed thousands of galaxies. Even if we win, most of us will die trying. Then why fight at all? Because that is what humans do. We fight impossible battles for people who do not like us, to protect worlds we will never see for the hope that somewhere children will grow up safe. Captain Lim's voice came through the speakers again. Council Speaker, I am transmitting our fleet's departure schedule. With or without your help, we leave for the Rim in 48 hours. Minjay looked around the table at representatives who had spent decades fearing humanity. Now they had to decide whether to trust the galaxy's most dangerous species with their survival. Why should we believe you? She asked. Because Category Red was right, Heben said. We are dangerous. We are violent. We are everything you feared we would be, but you never asked the most important question, which is, dangerous to whom? General Song nodded. We are dangerous to our enemies. We are violent toward threats. We are everything your children need us to be when monsters come calling. Dr. Na activated one final display. It showed human families saying goodbye to soldiers who might never return. Children hugged fathers who were leaving to fight creatures from their nightmares. Mothers kissed sons who volunteered to stand between their world and extinction. We do not fight because we like violence, Na said softly. We fight because we love peace. We do not become monsters because we enjoy it. We become monsters so our children do not have to. The room fell silent except for the hum of machines keeping them alive in the cold of space. Minjay stood up slowly. She thought about the dead worlds at the galaxy's edge. She thought about the civilizations that had been consumed by things beyond imagination. She thought about the choice between trusting humanity and facing the Devourers alone. The quarantine is lifted, she announced. Humanity is invited to join the Galactic Council as a full member. With full military command over joint defense operations, added Sunwoo, surprising everyone. Heben nodded. We accept. But understand what you are agreeing to. We will do whatever it takes to protect this galaxy. We will become the monsters you always feared we were, because that is what the real monsters understand. As the meeting ended and representatives returned to their ships, old Dr. Kang Miho watched from her observation station far away. She had been the first to recommend Category Red for humanity 50 years ago. Now she prepared her final report. Humanity remains Category Red. They are still the most dangerous species in the galaxy. But perhaps that is exactly what the galaxy needs. Outside her window, human warships and galactic vessels formed into battle groups. They were heading toward the galaxy's edge where ancient horrors waited in the dark between stars. Category Red was going to war. And for the first time in 50,000 years, the galaxy had hope. The neutral moon of Kepler 442c had never seen so many different species in one place. Ships from across the galaxy filled the space around the small world. In the center of it all sat a human vessel that looked nothing like the warships the Council had been watching. Ambassador Kim. Heben stepped out of her ship's airlock wearing a specially designed suit that let her breathe the moon's thin air. She was tall for a human, with dark hair and eyes that seemed to see everything around her. Behind her walked Dr. Na Seojin, a scientist who studied alien life, and General Song Yujin, whose military uniform was simple, but whose presence made everyone nervous. Council Speaker Cho Min-jae waited for them in the meeting hall. She had lived for 3 centuries and had negotiated peace between hundreds of species, but she had never met beings quite like these humans. Welcome to Kepler 442c, Minjay said in the common galactic language. Thank you for agreeing to meet with us. Thank you for finally agreeing to meet with us, Heben replied. We have been waiting 50 years for this conversation. They walked together into the meeting hall. Representatives from 20 different species sat around a circular table. The humans took their seats without showing any sign of fear, even though they were surrounded by beings who had voted to imprison their entire species. Before we begin, Heben said, I want to ask a simple question. What did we do wrong? The question hung in the air like a bad smell. Several representatives shifted in their seats. Minji spoke carefully. Your species was designated Category Red because our scientists believed you posed a threat to galactic peace. A threat? Dr. Naseojun leaned forward. We had never even left our home system. We did not know you existed. How could we threaten you? Your history shows a pattern of violence, replied Ambassador Shin Junho, the same Kethmori who had opposed the quarantine 50 years earlier. Your species has been at war for its entire recorded history. General Song Yujin smiled, but it was not a happy smile. You are right. We do fight a lot. But do you know why? He pressed a button on a small device. Images appeared in the air above the table, showing scenes from human history. We fight because we have to, Song said. Our world is not peaceful like yours. We have diseases that kill millions. We have storms that destroy cities. We have earthquakes that swallow entire nations. The images showed humans battling not just each other, but floods, fires, plagues, and disasters that would have destroyed weaker species. We learn to fight because everything on our world wants to kill us, Song continued. Our air has poison. Our water carries sickness. Our animals eat other animals to survive. We became strong because weak humans died. Dr. Na Seojin stood up and activated his own device. More images filled the air, but these were different. They showed human cities, human art, human families. But that is only half the story, Na said. Yes, we fight. But we also love. We create music that makes us cry. We tell stories that teach children to be kind. We spend our lives caring for people we will never meet. The images showed human doctors working without pay in poor countries. Human soldiers sharing their food with enemy children. Human scientists trying to save animals from becoming extinct. We do not fight because we are evil, Na explained. We fight because we love our families, our friends, our world. Everything we do comes from love, even our wars. Minjay studied the images carefully. She had read reports about human behavior, but seeing it like this was different. Dr. Na, she said, can you explain something that confuses us? Why do humans fight each other if you love each other so much? Na looked sad. Because we love different things. One human loves his family. Another human loves her country. A third human loves his God. When these loves come into conflict, we fight to protect what we love most. That seems inefficient, said Chief Military Advisor Park Sun-woo. Fighting wastes resources that could be used for other things. General Song laughed, but again it was not a happy sound. You think we do not know that? Of course fighting wastes resources, but what is the alternative? Let someone else take what we love? Let our children die so strangers can live? Ambassador Heben activated her own display. This time the images made several representatives gasp in shock. You have been watching us for 50 years, she said. But we have been watching you too. The images showed detailed information about every species in the galaxy. Their biology, their psychology, their military capabilities, their weaknesses. We know that the Kethmori have not fought a war in 3,000 years because they have no natural predators on their world, Heben said. We know that the Drakmari love battle but follow strict rules because their honor system prevents them from total war. She looked around the table at each representative. We know that the Velthari reproduce by merging minds, so they cannot understand why we fight to protect individual identity. We know that the Zephyrians live for 10,000 years, so they cannot understand why we are impatient for change. The room fell silent. Every species had secrets they thought were hidden. You studied us like laboratory animals, Heben continued. But we studied you like neighbors we hope to meet someday. We learned your languages. We understood your cultures. We prepared to be friends. Then why did you build so many warships? Asked Sunwoo. General Song answered. Because you imprisoned us. Because you treated us like criminals before we committed any crimes. Because you made it clear that you saw us as enemies. He activated his own display one more time. The images that appeared made several representatives leave their seats in terror. "We built warships because we learned about the galaxy while trapped in our cage," Song said. "We know about every war you have fought. We know about every species you have destroyed. We know about every world you have abandoned when it became inconvenient." The images showed the dark history of the galaxy that most species tried to forget, wars that had killed entire civilizations, planets left to die when their resources were exhausted, species that had been wiped out for being different. "You call yourselves peaceful," Song said, "but you achieved peace by destroying everyone who disagreed with you. You made the galaxy safe by making it empty of anyone who might cause problems." Dr. Na stood up again. "But we do not want to destroy you. We do not want to conquer you. We want to join you. Join us?" Minjay asked. "After what we did to you?" "You were afraid of us," Heben said simply. "Fear makes people do stupid things." "We know because we do stupid things when we are afraid too." She looked around the room at beings who had spent 50 years terrified of her species. "You thought we would bring war to the galaxy. Maybe you were right. But look around you. The galaxy already has war. It already has suffering. It already has death. We just do it more honestly than you do." "What do you mean?" asked Minjay. "You kill species by ignoring them when they need help. We kill people by shooting them. Your way takes longer, but the result is the same. At least our way is quick." Ambassador Junho spoke for the first time since the meeting began. "What do you want from us?" Heben smiled, and this time it was genuine. "We want what we have always wanted. We want to explore the stars. We want to meet new friends. We want to learn about the universe. And if we refuse, then we explore the stars anyway. We meet new species anyway. We learn about the universe anyway. The only difference is whether you are our friends or our enemies." General Song nodded. "We spent 50 years preparing for war with you, but we would rather spend the next 50 years preparing for peace." Minjay looked around the table at her fellow representatives. She saw fear in their eyes, but also something else. Hope. "What guarantee do we have that you will not attack us?" she asked. "The same guarantee you gave us when you built that cage around our world," Heben replied. "None. Trust is not about guarantees. Trust is about choosing to believe in each other despite having no guarantees." The meeting room fell quiet again. Outside, human ships and galactic ships floated in space together, weapons powered down but ready. "We have a choice to make," Minjay said finally. "We can continue to fear each other, or we can try to understand each other." "Choose quickly," General Song said, looking at a device on his wrist. "Because in 6 months something is coming that will make our little disagreement seem very unimportant." "What do you mean?" asked Minjay. Dr. Na activated his display one last time. The image that appeared made every being in the room feel cold. "We found something while we were trapped in our system," he said. "Something that explains why the galaxy has so many dead worlds. Something that is coming back."